Throughout human history, the way we understand and connect with the world has dramatically changed. Long ago, people had a natural ability to sense and understand things beyond what we normally do now. A kind of sixth sense or intuition that let them see the world and its unseen elements clearly. Over thousands of years, this intuitive sense has faded for many, leaving a feeling of disconnection from these deeper insights. We are at a special point in history where we're being called to question the usual ways of doing things, to think differently, and to dig deep into our potential. This is a time for us to wake up to who we really are, to uncover the true depths of our spirit, and to find clear direction. On this journey, we're encouraged to be fully aware and present, a practice sometimes called self-remembering. For anyone seeking a deeper spiritual connection, this journey opens up the chance to move beyond the everyday and discover more about what we can truly achieve. Building on the foundation of understanding of how our connection to the world and its deeper realities has evolved over time, we're going to dive into the fascinating teachings of the Rosicrucians, a group that has intrigued scholars and spiritual seekers for centuries. The Rosicrucians, with their rich history and mystical practices, offers us a unique lens through which to view the evolution of our collective consciousness and the sometimes latent potential within us all. As we explore the Rosicrucian teachings, we'll take a look into their mysterious symbols, allegorical texts, and the profound spiritual practices they use to navigate the complexities of life and the universe. We'll uncover how they sought to bridge the gap between our physical reality and the spiritual world, much like our ancestors did with their intuitive senses, and how they used spiritual alchemy to transform the unseen into the seen, what is referred to as intentional manifestation. We'll also see how their vision for self-discovery, inner wisdom, and a harmonious connection with the universe have provided practical, insightful methods for personal growth, purpose, and spiritual enlightenment that can be applied to our own personal journeys of awakening. As we peel back the layers of their esoteric teachings, I invite you to open your mind and your heart to the possibilities that lie within you, promising a voyage of discovery that could transform the way that you see yourself and the world. Together, we'll explore how the timeless wisdom of the Rosicrucians can inspire us to reclaim our lost connection to the deeper aspects of existence and to embrace the potential for personal and collective evolution. The Rosicrucians, also known as the Rosy Cross or Rosicrucian Order, are a mystical philosophical secret society said to have been founded in late medieval Germany. They first publicly emerged in the early 17th century through manifestos that introduced their doctrine to the European continent. These manifestos, which I'll outline later in this video, proclaimed a universal reformation of mankind through a science allegedly kept secret for decades until the intellectual climate was ready to receive it. The Rosicrucian teachings are a blend of alchemical, Hermetic, and Christian mysticism. They emphasize the mystical and esoteric truths underlying various religions and philosophies. They claim to possess secret wisdom handed down from ancient times and assert that this wisdom can lead to insights into the nature of the universe, spiritual enlightenment, and the ability to manipulate reality. The secrecy surrounding the Rosicrucians can be traced back to the societal and religious context of early 17th century Europe, a time of significant turmoil, intellectual upheaval, and spiritual questing. The rise of the Rosicrucian movement during this period can be seen as both a product of these times and a response to them. Europe in the 16th and 17th centuries was a hotbed of religious strife and persecution. The Protestant Reformation had shattered the religious unity of Europe, leading to wars, inquisitions, and witch hunts. In this climate, opposing religious and philosophical ideas were often met with severe punishment. Secrecy was a practical necessity for any group that wished to explore unconventional spiritual or philosophical ideas. This period was also the beginning of the European Enlightenment, a time when science and reason began to challenge traditional religious and mystical views of the world. The Rosicrucians positioned themselves in opposition to the opinions of the Church and the emerging scientific worldview. Secrecy allowed them to study and discuss their beliefs without interference or censure from either side. By keeping their membership and teachings secret, the Rosicrucians protected themselves from religious authorities who might have seen their blend of mysticism and religious thought as heretical or blasphemous. This secrecy also served to create an aura of mystery around the Rosicrucian teachings, making them more appealing to potential initiates. The allure of hidden knowledge has always been a powerful recruitment tool for esoteric societies. The promise of hidden knowledge helped to build a sense of unity and purpose amongst members. This process ensured that only those deemed worthy and capable of understanding their teachings were admitted. It was believed that profound spiritual truths should not be disclosed to those unprepared to receive them. Initiation into the Rosicrucian order involved a ceremonial and symbolic process that marks the transition of a hopeful applicant from the outer material world to the inner spiritual realm of the order. This process, which is still active today, begins with a period of study and self-preparation, followed by an application and acceptance into the order. The heart of initiation is the ritual ceremony, instilled with deep symbolism, which signifies purification, enlightenment, and the acceptance of new spiritual duties. After initiation, members progress through various degrees of knowledge and insight, engaging in continuous study, meditation, and the practice of Rosicrucian principles in daily life. This journey is shaped by a commitment to personal growth, understanding of mystical and philosophical teachings, and adherence to a tradition of secrecy regarding the inner workings and rituals of the order. The use of symbols and allegories, which are inherently open to interpretation, required a level of secrecy and initiation into the methods of interpretation. This ensured that the teachings were not misunderstood or misused by those not ready or able to comprehend their deeper meanings. The Rosicrucian Manifestos, published in the early 17th century, were themselves part of this tradition of secrecy. They announced the existence of a previously unknown esoteric order to the world, but did so in a way that was cryptic and full of mystical symbolism. This both protected the authors and attracted attention from those with the inclination and ability to understand their deeper messages. The Rosicrucian Manifestos, primarily consisting of 3 documents published between 1614 and 1617, played a crucial role in the public emergence of the Rosicrucian order. These texts, which called for a universal reform of knowledge, science, and spirituality, intrigued and baffled the intellectual and spiritual communities of Europe. Here's a closer look at each of these 3 manifestos. Published in 1614, The Fame of the Brotherhood of the Rosy Cross introduces the legend of Christian Rosicrucius, a mythical figure and purported founder of the Rosicrucian order. According to the narrative, Rosicrucius traveled to the Middle East and other parts of the world, acquiring hidden knowledge and wisdom. Upon his return to Europe, he established a secret brotherhood to preserve and pass on this esoteric knowledge. The manifesto calls for a universal reform of the science, arts, and religion, criticizing the dogmatism of the Church and the shortcomings of the contemporary scientific approach. It invites learned men to join the Rosicrucian cause, offering them the promise of access to hidden knowledge and spiritual enlightenment. Published in 1615, The Confession of the Brotherhood expands on the themes introduced in the previous manifesto. It reaffirms the existence and mission of the Rosicrucian Brotherhood, emphasizing its Christian orientation while also acknowledging the validity of other religious traditions. The manifesto warns against the dangers of materialism and moral decay, calling for a renewal of spiritual life and the integration of true knowledge, both scientific and spiritual, for the betterment of mankind. This manifesto also contains a more direct critique of the Church and the academic institutions of the time, accusing them of suppressing knowledge and hindering spiritual and intellectual progress. It calls for an open-minded investigation into nature, the divine, and the human soul. Published in 1617, The third manifesto is an allegorical tale describing the mystical journey of Christian Rosicrucians over 7 days. This journey, filled with symbolic trials and teachings, is interpreted as an allegory for spiritual transformation. It blends elements of alchemy, mysticism, and Christian symbolism to depict the process of personal and universal enlightenment. The narrative is rich in alchemical symbolism, representing the union of opposites, such as the king and queen in the story, and leading to the creation of the philosopher's stone, a symbol of ultimate knowledge and spiritual perfection. It suggests a path of personal development and purification, directing individuals to a harmonious union with the divine. The Rosicrucian Manifestos sparked widespread interest and debate across Europe, attracting supporters and critics alike. Their call for a universal reformation of knowledge, along with their critique of religious and academic institutions, resonated with many who sought an alternative to the prevailing articles of faith of the time. However, the manifesto's deliberate vagueness and symbolic language led to various interpretations. Some saw them as a literal call to form a new esoteric order, while others interpreted them as purely allegorical, intended to inspire a more personal spiritual journey. Despite their mysterious origins and the debate over their intended meaning, the Rosicrucian Manifestos significantly influenced the development of Western esoteric traditions, contributing to the broader currents of the Renaissance, Reformation, and Enlightenment by advocating for a fusion of science, spirituality, and esoteric knowledge. The rose cross is perhaps the most iconic symbol of the Rosicrucians. It combines a cross with a rose at its center. The cross symbolizes the human body and the material plane, while the rose represents unfolding consciousness, spiritual awakening, and the soul's development. The rose cross embodies the Rosicrucian belief in the harmonious balance and integration of material and spiritual life. These two birds are symbolic within Rosicrucian and alchemical traditions. The pelican, often depicted piercing its own breast to feed its young with its blood, symbolizes self-sacrifice, resurrection, and the alchemical process of purification. The phoenix, known for rising renewed from its ashes, represents death, rebirth, and eternal life, echoing the Rosicrucian emphasis on spiritual transformation and renewal. As it's been stated here, Rosicrucianism is deeply intertwined with alchemy. And such, alchemical symbols are a significant part of their tradition. These include the symbols for the 4 elements of earth, air, fire, and water, the philosopher's stone, symbolizing ultimate knowledge and enlightenment, and other various processes of transformation. While more commonly associated with Freemasonry, which shares some historical and symbolic ties with Rosicrucianism, the square and compasses symbolize the Rosicrucian and Masonic pursuit of knowledge, balance, and the measurement of the spiritual and material worlds. The caduceus, featuring 2 snakes winding around a staff topped with wings, is another symbol adopted by the Rosicrucians. It represents harmony, balance, and the integration of opposites. In alchemical and Rosicrucian thought, it symbolizes the unification of dual forces within the universe and the human being, leading to spiritual enlightenment. This symbol has also been interpreted as representing the concept of the raising of the chrism, or Kundalini awakening, especially within the context of esoteric traditions, including some interpretations within Rosicrucianism and related spiritual practices. If you would like to understand more about this process, I will leave links to my Sacred Secretion series that outlines this in the description of this video. These symbols and their interpretations offer a window into the complex and richly symbolic world of Rosicrucian mysticism. They represent the order's teachings on the interconnectedness of the physical and spiritual realms, the journey of spiritual awakening, and the transformation of the self. Through these symbols, the Rosicrucians convey deep truths about the universe, the divine, and the path to enlightenment. In regards to the Rosicrucians' association with the practice of alchemy, not just the transmutation of base metals into gold, but also as a metaphor for personal transformation, They believe in the concept of as above, so below, attributed to the ancient Emerald Tablet. In other words, they believe that the material world reflects the spiritual realm, and that understanding this correspondence allows one to influence both realms. Mental alchemy involves the transformation of personal reality through changes in mental attitudes and beliefs, something that this channel has been founded upon. By understanding and applying universal laws, such as the law of attraction, Rosicrucians deliberately manifest changes in their physical world. Visualization and meditation are practices that are central to Rosicrucian techniques for harnessing reality. Visualization is used to create mental images of desired outcomes, while meditation helps in connecting with the higher self and the universal consciousness. They also employ the study of esoteric texts, knowledge, and symbols that are believed to unlock hidden universal principles. By mastering these principles, individuals can direct energies to manifest their will. Rosicrucians seek to understand and harmonize with cosmic laws, such as the cycles of nature and the principles of cause and effect. This harmony facilitates the manifestation of desires. Spiritual alchemy is another tool that is used by the Rosicrucians. This is the process of spiritual purification and enlightenment. By refining one's inner being, one can achieve a state of perfection that mirrors the harmony of the universe, thereby affecting reality around them. One specific technique often associated with the Rosicrucians and similar esoteric traditions for manifestation is the proper practice of visualization combined with affirmative prayer or decree. This technique embodies the principle of mental creation precedes physical creation and leverages the power of the mind to influence the material world. In regards to Rosicrucian visualization processes, I will outline here a powerful visualization technique that I found on a website discussing Rosicrucian Magic. I will leave a link to that website in the description of this video. Think of an equal-armed cross and yourself standing in its middle. You turn towards the north and begin to divest yourself of all aspects of your being that belong into this realm: your past, your roots and ancestors, your bodily strength and integrity. All things float back over this threshold that shield and contain: your skin, your bones, your blood. When there is nothing left to give to the north, whatever is left of you turns towards the east. Here you continue the process. You hand over your familiar thought patterns, your intellect and mind, your ability to speak and utter, until you no longer remember your own name. Then whatever is left of you turns towards the south and divests the aspects of yourself that belong here: your future, that path leading ahead, your desires and fire, and all the chapters to come in your book of life. Now the little of yourself that still stands in the center turns towards the west. Immediately the cells of your being that came from here begin to float back over the threshold of their origin: your emotional weave, your traumas and delights, your love and anger, and the invisible substance from which countless times without realizing you have created, destroyed, and rebuilt that fragile sense of meaning. What is left of you now, what finally returns to the center, is nothing but a dim light. One breath of wind and your spark would be gone. Naked, vulnerable, almost unborn again. That is how your light hovers in the center of the cross. Then a ripple returns from the four quarters, as well as from below and above, and the spark that is an echo of your essence lights up and unfolds into the form of a rosebud. No roots, no stalk, no leaves, just a flower waiting to be awoken, hovering in the middle of the cross. That is the mystery of the Rosy Cross, for standing in its center means giving up much of ourselves. It means no longer having the luxury of being oriented by the quarters, and neither by one's own hand, heart, or head. The one who has become the rose knows no directions any longer. Above and below have fallen into one. All that remains is the dim light shining forth, waiting to hear the echo of divinity. This exercise immerses you in a profound journey of self-discovery and transformation, guiding you through the symbolic act of releasing every facet of your being, your past, thoughts, desires, and emotions, until you stand bare as a spark of potential. It reveals the powerful mystery of the Rosy Cross. By surrendering all that we are, we become a vessel for divine awakening, poised to bloom into a fuller, more authentic existence, untethered by direction or limitation, and radiating with the pure essence of our true self. The influence of the Rosicrucians has been felt in many areas, including the arts, sciences, and politics, though their secrecy and the mystical nature of their teachings have also led to skepticism and controversy. Despite this, their vision of a universal wisdom and the transformation of self and society continues to attract followers. From the ancient wisdom encapsulated in the Manifestos and the esoteric symbolism of the Rose Cross, the Rosicrucian path invites us into a world where spiritual awakening and personal growth are intimately intertwined. This exploration reveals the Rosicrucian commitment to understanding the universe's hidden laws, fostering an inner alchemy of the soul, and ultimately manifesting a deeper, more harmonious connection with the divine. In embracing these timeless teachings, we're offered a unique lens to view our existence, encouraging us to transcend the material and awaken to the limitless potential within.